TIFU by telling my mom she should be a witch for Halloween. We were talking about Halloween outfits for fun and I told my mom that she should be a witch for Halloween and she got very angry with me. I think this speaks volume regarding the cultural shift in witches. In the old days, witches were thought of as old, ugly and using creepy bubbly pots. I mean, some media still do this too, like hags in Baldur's Gate 3 and cronies in Witcher 3 if you consider them witches. But when I grew up, there was Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Both the live-action show and the cartoon too. Kiki's Delivery Service and more recently Little Witch Academia, which have really different interpretations of witches, where they look great and do magical feats like a magician or stage performer. I grew up with young teachers often dressing up as witches and they looked great. I played Hogwarts Legacy and I would identify as a witch rather than a wizard, even though I use he, him pronouns. I would enjoy being a witch very much and the generic witch hat is great. TLDR. I didn't realize older people viewed witches differently than younger generations. Maybe you should tell your mom these things instead of us? Well, in Wizard of Oz, there was Glinda the Good Witch and she was lovely. That was in 1939. Plus, isn't Elvira a sexy witch? You might be too young to remember her. And Morticia Addams was definitely a witch. If I had the body, I'd be her. And then there's Charmed. 3 witch sisters. All gorgeous. 4. Well, 3.5. Technically, since Paige was half whitelighter. And Samantha, from Bewitched, she was good. Her mother wasn't bad. She just hated Samantha's husband and, to be fair, he was a dick. 2 dicks. Really. Dick York and Dick Sargent. Grin. Actually, I think you both should go to counseling for Halloween. Nah, it's just your mom's personal issues. Is your mom 400 years old? Who still gets mad at stuff like that? My mom came dressed as a witch to Storytime back when I was in prep 30 years ago. Ever since then, some people still think she's an actual witch. Tell her she can be Glinda the Good Witch, not the Wicked Witch of the West. Witches are classic Halloween characters. If attitudes have shifted at all, it's more prouish than before. The only 2 types of people I could see getting upset at the suggestion are a Reconstructionist pagan with a stick up their ass or some run-of-the-mill Christian fundamentalist. In addition to the ones other people have pointed out. Scarlet Witch first appeared in the mid-60s. Sabrina long predates the TV shows and was a comic character back in the 60s. The movie Belle, Book, and Candle is from the late 50s. Are you sure this is an age thing and not a religion thing? I mean, why did your mom take offense to it? Even if it was the typical green-skinned witch. That's been a pretty popular costume for decades. The only real insult of telling someone to go as a witch is when they think it's a euphemism for bitch. I'm surprised about the reaction. How old is older here? When my sister was in elementary school 25 years ago, all girls wanted to be a witch for Halloween. We used to make fun of how many witches we would get each Halloween party. Does she not realize you are talking about a costume? Your explanation and her reaction seems to imply you said she looks like a witch. Cute witches have been around for a very long time. Sabrina, to use your own example, has been around since 1962. Wendy the Good Little Witch has been around since the 50s. My 6-year-old daughter said to me last week, "You should be a witch for Halloween." I asked, "Why?" "Because you look like one." Melting face. I'm 45 and witches are cool. My grandmother thought witches were cool. I think your mom is too sensitive. I mean, Hello. Wizard of Oz anyone? Super beautiful witch. My mother is in her 50s. Same as her sister. None of them have issues with witches. My mother even had a phase when she collected figurines of small and cute witches. Even my grandmother has seen some sexy witch costumes and portraits of attractive witches on TV. I don't know your cultural background, but I don't think that was the reason. Even if it was meant as the creepy green hawk-nosed witch, what is wrong with that? It's a classic Halloween costume, and we shouldn't be afraid to be silly and ugly at times. Heck, I am a woman myself. I'm going as Frank Reynolds' trash man from Always Sunny this year after. Someone jokingly suggested it. Does that mean I am literally an ugly 60-year-old crazy man? I wonder if your mother thought you used an offensive word that rhymed with witch. Just like there are offensive words that rhyme with duck. That's really odd behavior. My mom doesn't normally get upset by that until I follow it up with, you wouldn't need a costume. For what it's worth, witch is not a gendered noun. A warlock is a different thing.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.